Alright, budget magic time. Playing some mono green Aurora in standard. We'll play first. And it sounds pretty sweet. Mostly because of Tireless Tracker. We don't have any of our payoff cards, but if our tracker just lives, tracker and ramp is pretty good. It gets us clues, which fuels our Great Aurora. And sooner or later, we'll draw some cards. Ooh. This probably means our opponent has a lot of discard. Alright. Foundry go. And pass the turn. Sylvan Advocate for our opponent. I think we're going to lead on Nissa's Pilgrimage, because then we'll have a land ready to go when we play our Tireless Tracker. Ooh, there's an Aurora too. Alright. Well, Nissa's Pilgrimage. Get a couple forests. Pass the turn. Because if we just play the tracker and it dies, that's really bad. If we play it and play a land and it dies... Oh, this might be Jund. I guess against Jund, we can play it, play a land, and then leave up mana to immediately sack it, which is also pretty helpful because it saves it from Kolaghan's command, which would otherwise kind of be a problem. Opponent gets in for 2 with Advocate. Down to 18. So let's Tireless Tracker, Forest, get a clue, pass the turn. So now we're just hoping we can ramp into the Great Aurora before our opponent makes us discard it, or draw another one. The next turn we can double Pilgrimage, which means if our tracker is alive, we get so many clues. Opponent has Ruinous Path. Alright. Can't really do anything about that. Let's cash in the clue. See if we can find another tracker. Hedron Archive. That's actually decent. We can Hedron Archive into Nissa's Pilgrimage. Actually, this might be even better. Hedron Archive, Forest, and Explosive Vegetation. So now we're actually set up. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have the mana necessary to Great Aurora next turn. But it's probably better if we can do more first. Tireless Tracker. And Smoldering Marsh. Because right now we have 13. We would draw 13. Our opponent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Our opponent would be getting almost as much advantage, which isn't really where we want to be. So let's 1, 2, 3. Nissa's Pilgrimage. Get 2 lands, or 3 lands. This is good because this adds a lot of lands to our hand as well. 1 goes to the battlefield, 2 goes to our hand. We can play 1. 1, 2, 3. Nissa's Pilgrimage. Pull 3 more lands out of our deck. Put 1 on the battlefield. And now I think we just pass the turn. Leave up Blighted Woodland. Leave up Crack Archive. Opponent's going to cash in their clue. So pretty much we're just hoping they can't make us discard our Great Aurora. And then those 2 Nissa's Pilgrimage definitely broke the symmetry. So now we're in a position where our Nissa's Pilgrimage will be pretty awesome. The fact that our opponent gets a couple clues here makes it a little worse. But still, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we're at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I still think we come out ahead. Opponent cracks the clue. We probably are also forced to do it because our opponent can get in for a decent amount of damage. Alright, sacks both clues. I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for. Possibly discard. Gets in 410. Well, let's sack our Blighted Woodland. Get 2 more forests. Play the forest. Tap everything. We want as much mana floating as possible. And then Great Aurora. So we end up with what? 6 left over? Not bad. We drew 19. Our opponent drew 15. And yeah, let's all lands. See how many lands our opponent gets. So with 6 floating, we can Tireless Tracker. Opponent's going to crack their Evolving Wilds. Then we can Nissa's Renewal. This gets us a bunch of clues and gains us a bunch of life. And then Explosive Vegetation. So now we're set up for the next Aurora to be super absurd. Yes, unfortunately we got to discard a couple cards, but those clue tokens really break the symmetry. And we're up to 11, so we're not really in danger of dying. We'll pitch Hedron Crawler into Hedron Archive. So we have all 3 Great Auroras in hand, which I guess is fine. It means our opponent's would have had to draw into a lot of discard to get rid of all of them. And the next one, so the first one was fairly even. We came out slightly ahead, but the second one is not going to be anywhere near even. Chandra, all right. So we're taking some damage. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just take it. We have, how many lands? 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, let's just take it here. We actually might wait and just double. We could double Nissa's Renewal. That still seems fairly safe. I think we just got an Aurora here. I think it's safest. So tap out the Great Aurora. We draw 25, our opponent draws 16. And this time I think we do not put all lands. I think we want to save 1 back for our Tireless Trackers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's put 10 lands on the battlefield. And then play a Tireless Tracker. Play a Tireless Tracker. 1, 2, so we got 5, 6, 7. So let's play a land, get a couple clue tokens. Play Nissa's Renewal. Get a bunch more clue tokens. They're going to kill a tracker in response. They're going to try to kill us in response. No, they can't kill us. That's fine. So we get 6 clues. Go up to 10. play a Leaf Gilder, and let's just pass the turn. I think we got to discard a Tracker and a Hedron Archive. And then this next, the next Aurora should be the one that finishes the game. That should be the triple Gaia's Revenge, which I don't think our opponent's deck can really deal with. So let's actually, yeah, let's pitch. Let's think about this. Let's just pitch both archives. We kind of actually want the Tracker, because we could actually go Tracker, Nissa's Pilgrimage. Our opponent has Radiant Flames. Alright. Well, whatever. We're still having an insane Great Aurora for next turn. Opponent has Chandra, so he can hit us down to 4. Alright, down to 4. And we get a Forest. Does that mean we can Nissa's Renewal first? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can. Alright, that's good. Nissa's Renewal means we're not in danger of just dying. It does mean we don't have as much mana floating, but I think that's okay. So let's Nissa's Renewal. Go back up to 11. Get 3 more lands. Play the Forest. The Great Aurora. Because I was worried they'd hit like double Kolaghan's Command or something. And that would be bad for us. This time we're just going to put all lands. (10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we don't actually have enough mana for triple Gaia's Revenge. Actually, I guess we can just Great Aurora again. Maybe this makes more sense. Tap all of our lands. We might not draw it, though. Can we make sure we draw our entire deck? Possibly? Let's think about this. We have an Explosive Vegetation. So 1, 2, 3, Tireless Tracker. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they could kill the Tracker in response. Yeah, let's just... We haven't lost a Gaia's Revenge, right? So odds are pretty much in our favor. Yeah, let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Tireless Tracker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Explosive Vegetation. Gets us a couple clues. Now we tap out. And the Great Aurora. And this should give us enough mana. We should draw basically our entire deck. We have 4 cards we didn't draw. Put all lands on the battlefield. We do 33, they do 15. And now we should just be able to triple Gaia's Revenge for the win. So, yep. 1, 2, 3. Gaia's Revenge number 1. Gaia's Revenge number 2. Actually, we can just go all 4. Oh my god. So sweet. And that does it. Oh, the Great Aurora / Gaia's Revenge. So good. Alright, let's run it back. No, the one thing that would be bad is if they could find a way to exile our Gaia's Revenge. Like Infinite Obliteration. That's a sideboard card that we're really not set up to beat. People aren't playing it very much, so it's not a huge risk, but it seems like Jund is the kind of deck that could randomly have a copy, and that would be very difficult for us to beat. Alright. We got some ramp. We got an Aurora. I'm expecting to get picked apart by discard, but Cinderglade for our opponent. Forest Goo. We actually have a pretty fast Great Aurora if our opponent doesn't have Disruption. Sylvan Advocate. Foundry. Hedron Crawler. Go. So if our Crawler lives and they have no discard, we just Explosive Vegetation next turn. So turn 3 Explosive Vegetation, turn 4 Nissa's Renewal, turn 5 the Great Aurora for a pretty massive advantage. Because all of our cards get to, most of our cards get at least 2 or 3 permanents on the battlefield, when our opponent's cards don't necessarily do that. Tireless Tracker. So they're going to do the Clue Race. Another Great Aurora. Redundancy isn't the worst. So let's Explosive Vegetation. Get a couple of forests. Pass the turn. It is annoying that our opponent's getting clues, because it helps make the Aurora better for them. Cracks the clue. I'm guessing they're looking for discard. We really want to resolve Nissa's Renewal. Because with double Great Aurora, it's going to be unlikely they can get rid of both of them. Sweet. Oh, and another Nissa's Renewal? Alright, well, this worked out. So, Nissa's Renewal. Actually, overtapping. Puts us back up to 19. Gets us 3 forests. And pass the turn. Well, now we'll have to see if it's even worth Great Aurora next turn, or if we wait one more turn. Cracks the clue. After we see what our opponent does, we'll calculate which gives us the most advantage. Alright, our opponent found a Kolaghan's Command, which I guess means now we gotta decide. This is the deciding turn. So we have exactly enough mana to cast the Great Aurora. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Our opponent would draw 12. We would draw 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's just pitch Blighted Woodland. Ooh. It is a little risky to keep waiting, though. But Aurora for no value isn't that great. Let's see what we draw. If we draw like a Tireless Tracker or something, I think we definitely wait. Hedron Archive. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hedron Archive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nissa's Renewal. Go back up to 19 and pass back. And now we're basically just hoping our opponent doesn't have double discard. As long as we can resolve a Great Aurora, we'll be pretty far ahead. So they can make us discard 1, but if they can get rid of both, whew, all right. Nissa is a good sign that they can't get rid of both. They're going to get a land. Play the land, get a clue. I guess another Kolaghan's command would also be a little bit annoying. If they could, like, hit Hedron Archive and make us discard. Alright, they just sack a clue, so I think we're in the clear for a big Aurora next turn. So we take 10, down to 9. We draw for the turn, Blighted Woodland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 6 is 15, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is basically even, except for the fact that we're behind on board, so it kind of makes it more beneficial for us. Do we want to do anything ahead of time? I kind of don't want to make our land drop, because I kind of want to be able to play it after we get a Tireless Tracker. Do we want to sack a... We can sack Hedron Archive, and then that does net us a card. It costs us some mana. Yeah, let's sack it. Draw a couple cards. And then tap out. The Great Aurora. Only 1 mana floating, but that's alright. We kind of got to do it. We did get a Tireless Tracker. 2 Tireless Trackers. And a bunch of lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7, 8. So let's put 8 lands on the battlefield. Oh, and they got all tap lands. That's sweet. So now we get to Tireless Tracker. Tireless Tracker. Foundry of the Consuls gets us 2 clues. Explosive Vegetation gets us 4 more clues. We don't have another one in hand, but our opponent did not draw very well on lands. They only got 4 lands off of that. So they're probably going to be discarding. So let's just pass the turn and know that we will find another Aurora sometime, especially since we can sack clues to do it. And that one's going to put the game pretty much out of reach. Radiant Flames takes down our Tireless Trackers. Sure. And our opponent passes. Well, we're just searching pretty much for another Aurora. And another Tireless Tracker would be fine. Opponent discards, Read the Bones, Transgress the Mine, Virulent Plague. Well, there's an Aurora. Do we just go for it right now? I think so. This gives us a pretty huge advantage. So let's do it. Great Aurora. So the first one was basically even. This one, we're drawing what? This deck is so ridiculous. Oh, I love it. Oh my god. It is like Upheaval in Standard, and I love Upheaval, so... This time we get 2 floating. We're drawing 11 plus 6, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and our opponent's drawing like 11. So this should put us pretty far ahead. The danger with waiting is they could make us discard it. Yeah, they draw 11. We draw 21. Let's do the all except 1 thing again, because we can make a land drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? I left one out, right? Alright, so we'll put 11 lands into play. See how many our opponent got out of their 11 cards. Oh, they actually got quite a few. But we get to Tireless Tracker, Foundry, gets us a clue. Nissa's Pilgrimage. Let's just get 2. We don't want to discard too many. Gets us a clue. And then get down a Gaia's Revenge to start beating down. And they shouldn't have any way of dealing with Gaia's Revenge. They pretty much got to block it. And then we'll just discard a Hedron Crawler. We did get triple Archive too, which is nice. That's a lot of card drawing. Gaia's Revenge is the secret to this deck. So funny. Survive Languish can't be targeted by basically anything, so it's basically huge, hasty, and hexproof, and it's just super hard for an opponent to deal with. They probably get to kill the tracker, because that's a lot of clues that we will get next turn. Sylvan Advocate. Alright. I guess I can play a bunch of stuff and try to block Gaia's Revenge. We are almost out of trackers. We only got 1 left. Wow, our opponent's going to pass? So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Explosive Vegetation. Gets a couple forests. Gets a couple clues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hedron Archive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hedron Archive. Play a land, get a clue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hedron Archive. 1, 2, 3. And this is Pilgrimage. Get 3 forests. Get another clue. And pass the turn. Not going to attack, because they can kill our Gaia's Revenge with Hissing Quagmire. So now, I think we just draw a bunch of cards next turn, and hope that we find the last Aurora. Radiant Flames. I guess double Radiant Flames would get rid of Gaia's Revenge. Alright, Radiant Flames and Hissing Quagmire. Attacks with Hissing Quagmire. Alright, let's kill it. We have more Gaia's Revenge to draw into. Like that one. So are we going for it here? 1, 2. Sack Hedron Archive. There it is. 1, 2, 3. And this is Pilgrimage. 1 on the battlefield, 2 in our hand. 1, 2. Sack Hedron Archive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And last one. And then the Great Aurora. Floating what? 2? So we're going to put all lands into play. And then hopefully just double Gaia's Revenge for the win. We drew 33. Our opponent drew 11. So from even to doubling our opponent to tripling our opponent. And 1, 2, 3. So Gaia's Revenge number 1. And Gaia's Revenge number 2. Attack with both. And that should do it. Apparently this deck is actually good. We've beat a bunch of tier 1 decks. It's so absurd. But sweet.